Welcome to Website Royalty. I am Kim White. I am with the findability queen herself, Denise Millay, and we are here for another, we'll call it an episode, well, for Kajabi support for you. We are excited to be bringing the topic of Kajabi podcasts today. We've been talking about a lot of different things, and we're very excited to go over maybe why podcasts are so effective, how the Kajabi platform helps your podcast, what benefits it has for you, a quick and easy process, the simple way to set it up, the simple way to move it over if you're moving it from another platform. All those things is what we are intentionally going to go through today. We have some living proof, some examples to show you. And Denise, I'm very, very excited.
I am too, Kim, because I think, I'm new to this whole process and you've done it for a long time. And
Mhm.
I think we're both in the same mindset over it, which is kind of amazing. So, we have different experiences, but it's kind of cool that we've come to the same spot
It, it
with
is
this,
very, yeah.
with those different experiences. So I'm excited by that.
It's very exciting to me because I've watched you bloom into a wonderful podcaster. You've had actually, Denise had a marketing show on Apple TV. She's had like all these different things. And to see you blooming into a podcaster in a community of podcasters is pretty fun because you're doing an amazing job.
Well, thank you.
So,
And it wasn't
oh,
an easy decision. So I have to be honest about that too, is I am new to it, but we all get this way when you have so many things on your plate that you're committed to doing and getting done as an entrepreneur and you're on your own and you don't have a huge team or whatever. Adding a new thing is not for the faint of heart. It's not a light decision. So Kajabi made it an easier decision for me to do. Obviously, having you as my official mailbag keeper helped.
official, official.
Official. That helped a lot, but having it easily done and produced and distributed was really an incredible thing. So,
I love it. Well, I have to give a little backstory on my journey of podcasting. I actually started podcasting in 2018. That was the first time I got the wild idea. And let me just tell y'all, it was a wild idea at the time, but I didn't like the regular way that FAQs, frequently asked questions, were. I recognized we were getting all these questions. And so I decided to, since I'm not a writer, I am a talker, that we would put out a podcast based on our FAQs. Turned into more than that after we got started, but that's where it started.
that's so cool. I mean, just the thought of something as simple as that can be the reason that you begin something like that is pretty amazing because that really is what when you come from service and you come from helpful and you come from what can you contribute, it's so great. So anyway,
Thank you.
should we
Well,
talk about why we're here though, Kim?
yes, please.
So we are here because we are great believers in Kajabi. We use Kajabi on the daily. We run our businesses on it, and we went from great fans to big affiliates because we so believe in this platform. And Kim's been at it many years more than me, but I've been at it now 4 years, and we both have experienced a lot of other things before that. So when we got here and it started to grow and they added more features and it became so much more powerful as an all-in-one, that's when we decided that I want other people to know that this is out there. And as an affiliate, I just want to be upfront about that. The relationship is you don't pay more. Kajabi gives us a portion for supporting you in your journey with Kajabi. So our support is website royalty. It's the group within my sexy business community that allows you to get your questions answered about Kajabi so you can keep moving forward, and it gives you a year's worth of that as a bonus when you sign up using the affiliate link to use that to get yourself going. So that's the little synopsis there of why we're here.
And we'll just drop here just so if anyone is not already on Kajabi and they want to well they want to see more information. We've done multiple live streams. We're going to continue doing these live streams weekly so that we can share the back end of Kajabi. But if you head over to mysexybusiness.com, which is our website, and go scroll down to the tiles, you'll find website royalty in the middle there. Denise, could you show the top just so that they
Oh,
recognize
yeah.
it?
So sorry.
No, no, no. And
Jump ahead.
I always hate the picture of me on here, but you can see I'm sitting in the same place that that picture was taken because I love my kitchen, just so you know. But our community, which is My Sexy Business, actually has a different belief system, I think, than most. We don't believe in the hustle and grinding. We do believe in hard work. We know we've got to do things, but we believe in a business that we own that doesn't own us. Website royalty is part of that big community because it helps you set things up that are not, you know, taking life from you. It's giving you time because if you can set things up online, an online presence, an online website, an online community, you suddenly can multiply your time by having it set up the right way, in my opinion. So if you click the tile on website royalty, it'll take you to the website royalty page. It's got more information. Jill is one of the team. You get Denise and I, but you also get Jill and Adam. You get the team to support as well. These are all the different things we love about Kajabi. Probably not all of them are listed because the page would be 12 miles long. But the big black button is the 30-day free trial so that you can actually try it for 30 days. Come into website royalty, get support to set up your website or your community, whatever you need to do first, or your podcast. We're going to be talking podcasts today.
Right.
Whatever that is, before you even pay $1 to
Right.
Kajabi. So, more
And
information.
these are the instructions after
Mhm.
you use the sign up through Kajabi 30-day free trial. You need to follow these instructions to get set up into website royalty, and you can do that as soon as you confirm your sign up with Kajabi. So,
And it's pretty simple
mhm.
because it's just emailing me so that I can push the right buttons to get you access. That's really as complicated as it is. Um, we have a podcast episode out there that Jill and I did on our one of our podcasts that gives more information. We have a few blogs out there. We have information scattered everywhere, but these are just some places to give you a little bit of an easy button to go to those places. But
Okay.
if you are interested, let us know because we're excited about Kajabi and I'm ridiculous. I'll just come out of the gate with it. I am so extra. I get excited about these things because we've been using them so long and it's worked. It makes me super excited. So, Denise, I'm going to try to calm down on this side of the on
You know
this
what?
side of the
Share the
screen.
exuberance because Kim, the pain and frustration of having scattered tools, trying to connect them, make things work, and all you're trying to do is do business. And when these things don't work and you invest time researching and talking to people and calling support and doing all those things, and to have it not work when you go and have a webinar or whatever, that is so much worse. So you be exuberant as much as you want because it's appropriate in this setting. And we're both users. So we're not here just to sell. We are here because we want you to experience this as well because it's doable. So anyway,
I
back
believe
to
in
podcasting.
Well, I do believe in selling a solution because
Mhm.
if you're selling a solution with integrity, you are providing a solution that's more valuable than what someone is even paying. And I think that's Kajabi. I have to say, we were having a money conversation earlier, Denise and I, about the fact that all the different tools inside of Kajabi, we have experienced paying all of those separately in other platforms and tools before we like got smart enough to know just to put everything on Kajabi.
Right.
Um, and it costs a lot more. Just having a podcast, host costs a few dollars a month, whatever it is. Some plans are a lot, some plans are not a lot. Like we just want you to know that. But I believe this is one of those you get what you pay for. If you're talking podcasting and it's connected to your website, to your community, to your everything, because Kajabi is an all-in-one, it
Right.
makes life so much simpler.
Should we take a look at Kajabi so that everybody sees what we're talking about?
Yeah, 11 minutes in, Denise, we're gonna show it.
Hey,
Sorry,
Denise.
y'all, we're excited this morning.
Well, we gotta change it up. We don't want people to think we're talking about, the same pattern every day, gosh forbid. So listen, here's the dashboard. You've seen every day we've done a live here. And so on your products, when you come down to the products, there's the podcast is obviously a product. It's not there's no wizard for podcasts, right?
I thought there was. Let's look because
Ah, look at that. There's a wizard
yes,
for podcasts. I know
yes.
what I'm talking about. So some of the features of the podcast is you can import a podcast from another platform that you've already had set up and bring it into Kajabi. You get obviously audio content that you're uploading. They distribute out to two other major platforms your feed. And those two platforms also include a lot of other smaller ones. So it's a great way to get started and getting your podcast out there. You get a homepage with your podcast attached to your website. You get analytics and you can have a paywall, paid feeds. Math
So
is not working today.
let's talk for a second about the difference between a public podcast and a private podcast, because the paid part comes into play in this. If you are if you are if you have a paywall, sorry, I'll get my words out. If you have a paywall for your podcast, then that's considered a private podcast where, maybe for whatever your business is, you have something you want to give that's extra. Or maybe that's a way to give information that it is behind a paywall where you are actually able to collect money similar to some of the other platforms. I'll just say a lot of platforms have the ability to do this. But I will say with Kajabi, you can give access, and that's what it is. You give access to a certain group of people, you can give access to subscribers. We have a private podcast. It's 5 and 15 interviews that are the leadership series that Jill Olish and I do every week. Um, and it's just for our mastermind. It's a leadership based questions and discussion about leadership, because we believe everybody in our community is a leader. Every business owner is a leader. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a leader. If you're a creator and you're leading yourself, you're a leader. So this is our opinion, but the access is granted in Kajabi. The access is granted in there. If you have a certain group you belong to in the community, you get our podcast, the private one. We have public podcasts as well that bring people into different parts of the community and different parts of things. But I feel like having the ability to have the understanding before you start a podcast, whether you want it to be out there to advertise and market whatever it is, your business, your whatever you're doing, or if it's a benefit or a subscription that somebody signs up for. Either way, a podcast is a very effective thing for your business.
Very, very. And similar to a blog, it is evergreen content that sticks with you and your business. So it's out there continuing to point people to you. for a long time, which is something we all look for when we're investing our time and our bandwidth, is we want things that are going to last and have an impact. So it's definitely one of those top tier choices to build your recognition out there in the marketplace and your reach. So
We've used about 4 different platforms over the last, I guess, 7 years, 7 or 8 years. We have used, different ones that operate in different ways. Kajabi didn't have a podcast option when I started with Kajabi. They listened to the Kajabi community of, "Look, this is important to us. We want this." And they started creating it. And so I will say that this is something spectacular. We have been on these other platforms that they did have, like, they do have tools and things, but it's another fee, it's another thing you have to learn, and I think that that makes it not so simple. You have to make sure they're connected and those kind of things. So I think having it on Kajabi is a very important piece of keeping your business all together so that it's easier. It's just easier when you're not going to all these different places.
yes. And I will say from my perspective, as making the decision and having it internal and be able to start it this way made the decision much easier. Because if I had had to invest time to learn a platform or just to select one, to know which one I wanted to use would have taken hours and hours because that's just the process you go through, right? You do research, you do your due diligence. Well, here, I already own this. This platform is already here. I already knew the ins and outs of, how it worked with the setups and things, so I could figure that out. It didn't take nearly as long. So, I can't lie. It's made it so much easier for me to do this and add this to my business. So,
Well, we're going to be going like through the living proof, the things that we have for examples of how it works in Kajabi. But
great.
I do want to say really quickly, we'd love it if you would hit the subscribe button or the bell because we don't know the times we're going to go live over the next few weeks. And if you're interested in any of these things we're talking about, we're also giving experience, with this, not only experience with Kajabi, but experience with today podcasting. I actually, um, I'm not sure what the number is. I think it's 100 or 1007 episodes of podcasts I have done so far
Amazing.
across several podcasts, of course. But we have experience with business. I've my first business was at 16. Denise has her own business. Like we are very much in the trenches with entrepreneurs and with business owners. So we want to say that as well. So if you want to not miss a live stream so you can come and ask questions, we're trying to watch the comments so that if you ask anything while we're live, we can try to address it. Um, so hit that bell so that you're notified. That way we don't feel guilty because we didn't like tell everybody what time because we're not sure. We're fitting this into our schedules.
That's how it works.
Yes.
So
Yes.
should we take a look at My Sexy Businesses podcast
Yeah.
inclusion? Because I think you guys have done this for so long that you have many different examples of it. So I think that would be very helpful for people to see, don't you?
I do. Again, go to mysexybusiness.com homepage. Scroll down. There's a place that says podcasts. We have multiple podcasts, but we put buckets and boom gates on there as that's one of them that we have because so many people are interested in that particular one. That's our public, I'll just call it our confession podcast most of the time. We talk about all kinds of things on there that are really sometimes really deep, but we've got multiple podcasts on this page. And this is something you can do too if you have multiple podcasts. It's all the things that I guess I'm involved in. That's what I'll say. But
Mhm.
this podcast that Denise is showing right now, this was the first podcast I I had ever done, not as a guest, but as a host. And this podcast lives here. It has all of these different episodes. We have different cover art for each one. They're all like 3 to 5 minutes long, so they're not very long. But these podcasts, we have not recorded a new podcast on this particular podcast in about 3 years. This podcast still gets downloads that surprise us because it is still active. It is still out in the world. And if you don't think that you are going to get, you know, traction, I'll say, from a podcast, it can be slow to start. Don't be deceived by someone telling you you're going to get a million downloads the first week, cuz not likely. But these are going on and on and on. Like, they are still bringing in traffic. They're still bringing traffic to our website. They're still bringing traffic to our podcast. So it's important to know that this is a long-term benefit, that you will still get people to come. One of our number one, um, I guess our number one episode for this, besides the one that talks about what a sexy business is Are You Bathtub Brilliant?
I love
It
that. I love this.
it is literally such a fun one, but you can go right there and listen to it. And this is on a different platform. Like, we just want to be honest about everything that we do. This is on a different platform. Our show notes live here. This podcast is coming to Kajabi soon. The exciting part about that is we don't lose any of the things we've done with this podcast. We actually will be able to move it over very simply and not have to have another service for this podcast that lives out there. It'll still live just like it does now. So it's very, very exciting.
So this is what Kim's gonna do when she decides when she moves it, when she has time to move it, is she's just gonna start importing all of our episodes from our podcast right here.
Mhm.
And Kajabi will take what's out there from your RSS feed, which is the major, what do you call that? The list of all your episodes that gets distributed out to all the networks, and it'll pull it in and set it up through AI and all that other wizardry. And you will then be able to publish more episodes directly from the Kajabi platform.
And so
Today.
we have saved this task, we'll call it, of moving it over so that in another live stream coming up, we don't know when, but coming up, we're actually going to do it where you can see it, where
Right.
you'll be able to actually see what we've done step by step to move it over, because we want you to feel comfortable using Kajabi. We want you to feel comfortable with, watching someone else go first. We believe in our community that we go first a lot of times. If something is messy, we're willing to, do that. We don't, I guess our pride, we'll just go ahead and go there. We don't have much pride in the fact that we're not trying to be perfect. Denise and I are not experts about all this stuff. We have lots of experience.
Right.
We want to share what we do know. And if we don't know something, we want to find you that help and that support. Our team is amazing. Our team has, like, they're podcasters on their own.
Mhm.
I look at Jill and I think Jill's the host of 4 different
Sure.
podcasts with different people. She does one with her husband, one with a friend, well, 2 with me. So
That's
2 with
4.
me, 1 with her husband, and 1 with a friend. So that is a lot of podcasting experience over multiple years.
Right.
So we want to help with that, but we're going to demonstrate some of those things coming up. We're trying to get through all of the big broad categories of Kajabi before we start breaking down all these little things. But it is coming to a live stream near you.
Right. And talk about we should probably talk about what the task is when you create a podcast. So obviously you create your recording however you do that, right? So you have an audio file. But surrounding that, you need to have a title, you need to have a cover art picture, you need to have a transcript, you need to have show notes, which is a description. You need chapters or segments and the time that the different pieces start. So if somebody wants to navigate through the episode, they can skip ahead. So there are these things that you need to do. And with Kajabi and Creator Studio now, you can upload your audio recording of your podcast or your video recording that you're going to separate audio and video, whatever, and it will give you the transcript. It will do a description for the podcast for you with AI. It'll give you a summary. It'll give you some titles. It might even convert it into repurposing it into a blog post suggestion. Now, of course, none of these are, I wouldn't cut and paste them except for the transcript. You might do a few edits if it doesn't understand your, like I tend to go high and low, so it doesn't always get my low syllables. So I have to do some corrections. But you do that, and then you have all the pieces there. So then it's just a one page, boom, upload this, upload that, upload this, upload that, and press schedule. Magic.
So let's do a little bit of a demo real quick, Denise, not of the actual doing of it, but just show where you go if you are wanting to go ahead and we're impeding your progress. Let me say that. Can you go to Creator Studio real quick, just the home page, and let's just
Man,
talk really quick. Denise
yes,
is brilliant when she's talking about,
I
using the transcript for multiple things. All of our blog posts, we have over 140 blog posts. All of them have come from podcast episodes. Again, I'm not a writer. I don't want to sit down and just write something. I am a talker for sure. You all have already figured that out.
didn't press share. I'm
If
showing you these things. I didn't press share, Kim. Oh my goodness.
if you are a talker like me, a podcast really does answer a lot of things. So you record a video, audio, whichever, you drop it into Creator Studio inside of Kajabi, the same tool that has your website, has your blog, has all your things. And then you can go in here and you can get clips for socials to point people to your podcast. You can get that title, like Denise was saying, and the description, the transcripts. Like you have all of these things that you can take out of Creator Studio by just clicking the button and saying, look, this is what I want. You can
Mhm.
have the blog be, written, this a summary that you can take to put in the show notes or into your blog. There are just so many things that can come out of this. Another thing about Kajabi, Denise, if you'll scroll down for one more second to right there. So if you drop a video in here that's a podcast episode and you want to attach it so that you are selling a course from your podcast, you have the ability in Creator Studio to come up with some things that tie those together. You can get email ideas from here, you can get newsletter suggestions and an actual copy for your website from a podcast episode. So to me as a talker, podcasts are very powerful for me because it stays true to my message and my mission and my language. It doesn't bring in, from the whole world, everyone's perspective. It keeps it in my voice. And
Right.
I appreciate that because while I may annoy someone with my southern drawl, I I also am other people's flavor because of my mission and my message. So I'm looking for people who are my flavor, I'm their flavor, and this to me is a powerful tool that keeps it that way. It keeps
Yes.
it in the language that And I don't mean the poor grammar, because I can have really poor grammar, speaking. Clean that up. Let me just say that. But this is it's just such a great tool to use inside Kajabi, and it's easy. It is super simple once you learn like what you're wanting from these things. You put your video or audio in here, and here's another little secret. You can record in here. You can literally record inside of Kajabi, use the recording in Creator Studio, get all of these pieces put out, and then you've got a podcast, a blog, an email. Help me, Denise, with what all? You've got posts for socials. You've
Right,
got
you can do social posts. You can also, what I like too is discussion questions for community announcements, webinar posts. So some of these things may not seem to connect, but if you think about when you create a piece of content, you're trying to reuse it in as many ways as you can so that you multiply the effectiveness of the time you invested. So coming into Creator Studio with your piece of content, your audio or your video, you can repurpose it and it'll give you suggestions for how to do that. So discussion questions could lead to questions for the next interview you're going to do, or it could be something that you use for a blog or an email or just your community. If you're creating a Q&A in a feed and you want to keep people engaged, it'll give you ways to do that or give you suggestions. So you don't have to always have a blank page in front of you. You get some ideas. And that's what I use a lot of this for when I generate it. I don't cut and paste very much except for the transcript. Everything else is like input to the process to speed it up and to make it so much easier. So that video clips are really super helpful in the summaries. So yeah.
it also like cures writer's block, because it gives you
Yes.
prompts. If you are a writer and you want to write more than what I do, I just don't want to write. Denise is a lovely writer. Like, she does a great job. She's our wordsmith. Me, not so
I have
much.
trouble, but I have trouble when I sit down and if I'm not in the right brain space sometimes, and this will help get me there by getting me started. So
Another thing about being on a Kajabi podcast, you know, product is that you can generate your landing pages in a way that, because Denise is the findability queen and findability is what SEO starts with, you know, there's a lot of SEO things that are done by Kajabi for you. There are also ways to up level that by putting more things, and one of those is your landing pages. So
mhm.
to me, we did a search before we started today to see whether our Buckets and Boom Gates podcast came up, and I don't remember how many pages in. Denise found it from the first page all the way through all the
Right.
different episodes, because we've been putting landing pages alongside it.
Right, right. And because not all the pod platforms are searched inside, you might, like some of the big ones, you just get the header for the podcast would be included in search. If you have landing pages on your website for each episode, then they are a candidate as a page. That's actual page that the search engine might include each episode as a separate link in search. So you have more opportunities to connect with people similar to your blog where you're talking about topics relevant to them or things they're searching for. And that just gives you more opportunities to connect and expand your reach and engage with people. So it benefits all the way around and it makes it very easy to do, I have to say. So
I I don't want anyone feeling intimidated. I always suggest doing a podcast if you have a message to put out in the world, because it is a powerful way to get it out there. If
mhm,
you're on a mission, share that mission so that other people can catch that mission and help you get further along. And I think a podcast is a very powerful audio way. You also can do video, but it's a very powerful way to have someone get to know you, because I honestly don't want to waste anyone's time. if I am not your flavor, please take what you need that we are putting out in the world and find a
Right.
community that they are your flavor. We are anti creepy marketing. Like we are so intent. Our mission is to create irresistible marketing and stay completely away from creepy marketing. So that's one of the flavor things that we talk about is if you're in here talking all about having targets on people's backs that you're trying to target them, I am not your flavor. We'll just clear that up right now. I
You're
don't want
trying
to
to
be
funnel them. If you're trying to funnel them, we don't do funneling either.
yeah, that's called a fish trap. Like that let's just be honest. But I do want to take you on an adventure. I do want to go with you in the entrepreneurial adventure that we're all on. I would love to support you in your business ownership and the things that go on in real businesses. We have a lot of fun around here, but we're real business owners, not pretend ones just trying to parrot something about Kajabi that we think we know about it. We actually use it every day.
And
So I
we're working hard at it. We're
Mhm.
not sitting back in our sports cars, staring at a pool with umbrella drinks. Maybe once a year, we're looking at the umbrella drinks if we're lucky. But, we all work. We're all working at it. We're in different stages. We're not at the end game. We're still in process for most of us. So it's a growth journey.
I love what I do, and I think that's the difference too. I can take off time when I want to. I can do the things. I have the freedom, but I also understand how to be great at serving,
Mm.
how to really support someone. And I feel like website royalty really is a space that you can set aside to come and work on these things. It's we don't want you to be consumed with it. We want you to come and spend the time you need to get your things set up so that you're not in it every day, that you're not having to, constantly do something inside your website because it keeps breaking. You need another plugin to do the next thing you want. You need another tool to buy. That's not what Kajabi is, and that's one of the reasons we love it. Kajabi is an all-in-one, and we might sound like a broken record, y'all, but we're okay with that because we believe in what Kajabi has done for us, and we believe in sharing that. If I was not an affiliate, I want to make this clear. If I was not an affiliate, I'd be saying the exact same things.
Absolutely.
Kajabi being Kajabi affiliate partner enables us to come and give all the support that we do for website royalty and for the live streams and for all of that. You don't pay anymore. So I just have to be repeat on that. If you want a 30-day free trial, please do go mysexybusiness.com, website royalty, sign up for a 30-day free trial and join us inside the community for website royalty so that you can get a taste of what it feels like to be royally treated when you're learning something new about tech or learning a different platform. We don't want to
Absolutely.
exclude you, Kajabi, longtime Kajabi users. You're still welcome in website royalty. You just have to pay to play. The, the bonus for affiliate
Right.
signups is they get
And it's a
website royalty
co-working
for a
space
year.
too. You don't always have to have, burning questions. You just wanna make
Mhm.
sure you get it on your calendar to get some work done too. That's another reason that it's a year long is so that you can really achieve things.
In 1 year, I can't
So
imagine someone coming in like we have witnessed this. What you can't imagine having done in 1 month, and this happening very quickly because of because of the help and support, and when you're working on something, maybe you don't have a question like Denise said. Come into the space, work on it in the space, and ask the question,
Right. Right. Take advantage of the space, take advantage of other people's questions, and hearing answers to other people's questions might spur you to think of something else. So we don't like the approach that says, here's the curriculum and here's how we go from step 1 to step 10 and then you'll know everything. We don't like to do that. We like to talk about what you need in your business. So and work towards that. So but
I
I
keep
think
freezing, I think, and I'm sorry.
no, I think we've said as much as we can about podcasts on Kajabi. They're wonderful. Repurposing content's wonderful. You get great benefits for the long term. It's evergreen and it's quick and easy. And we hope you saw some of that. And we'll do more in depth later.
Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you know when we're going live again. And we appreciate y'all being with us here live or on the replay. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week in another live stream.
That's right. Have a great
Love
weekend.
y'all.